here's the deal for you. In the off season in the NFL, we're hunting and pecking for everything. Not gonna lie, we're hunting and pecking for anything to see if there's anything that can shed any light on anything. And frequently, it happens by somebody getting bored. Somebody is bored enough to essentially notice what's going on with somebody's social media accounts. Now, somebody might make it obvious, like, say, if you recall, the Super Bowl that the Rams beat the Bengals in right here in this town. That week began on the Monday of Super Bowl week with Kyler Murray blowing out his entire Instagram
That's right.
photo collection, with the exception of, I think, him with CeeDee Lamb at the Pro Bowl, and then just a picture of him, and just blew out everything to do with the Arizona Cardinals and anything else that he had done with the Arizona Cardinals in his first few years there, because he wanted
the bio, right?
He wanted a new contract. He wanted a new everything. He wanted a fresh start, it appeared. And sure enough, if you recall, things kind of blew up, and then he did get a contract, and so on and so forth. So some players make it obvious, and then others need to be bored. Like a handful of individuals, for some reason, went on Justin Fields' Instagram account and searched his following column for the word Chicago. And came up empty.
Hey.
And came up empty with Bears, too. Came up empty. Now, forget that he may never follow the Chicago Bears Instagram account. We're assuming he did. But somebody also then decided to pop in. I guess Action Network HQ did this part. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson follows them. Now he could be tight with them. Might be friendly with them.
Or?
I don't know. Did somebody go down the entire Falcons roster?
Those are the three players that kind of stand out.
I get it.
On that team.
Well, Kyle Pitts physically stands out. He's a very tall man.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, if you're Tyler Algier, you're like, what? I mean, don't you remember? I'm the vulture around here. You know? Are you popping it in there too?
I'm looking right now.
You don't even know what his Instagram handle would look like.
Well, I'm just
anyway.
literally typing in his name.
Okay, very good. I mean, maybe he wants to vulture this segment.
He does not follow Tyler.
Okay, how do you know?
Well, I just typed in Tyler in the Fields following.
Oh, okay, great. But, okay. Like, you know that's the word Tyler would be in Algier's handle. You never know. At any rate, we're looking for anything. Did Justin Fields never follow the Chicago Bears Instagram account? Because this is the time of year where underneath the radar, remember I keep saying that there's always an iceberg and we only see the tip of said iceberg? This would be the time of year where the Chicago Bears would give Justin Fields a slight heads up that they are going to be grinding tape on the quarterbacks in this year's draft. And I bet you they had already told him by this point last year, you can exhale. We're not going to go for any of these kids in this year's draft. What we're going to do is we're going to stick with you, and we're going to find out what we can get for the first overall pick. They might have already grinded the tape. They might not have even been interested in grinding the tape. And just understand, let's let everything marinate at the combine and then strike when that iron gets hot, when the Carolina Panthers call up and say, we'll give you all of this for your first overall pick. And at the time, nobody thought in a million years that would mean the Bears would get the first overall pick again this year, too. Because this one's a different ball of wax, because this one has Caleb Williams in the draft. And I believe the Bears are not going to just tell Justin Fields by this point in time, you're in the clear. And now you got to wonder, has he already been informed of this? You got to wonder anything like this. Off of, again, we have no idea if he followed Justin, if he didn't follow the Bears, he doesn't. I mean, how many people does he follow?
A 778.
Well, you have to figure, did you pop in Falcons? Did you pop in Atlanta in there as well?
No Falcons.
Okay, there you go. But it would make sense.
That would be too obvious.
No, bottom line is, let's be straight up. Caleb Williams and starting the clock again with Caleb Williams works. It makes sense. By starting the clock again, I mean you're paying him year one of a 5-year deal. Okay? And you have contractual control for him for not just 5 years, you could even franchise tag him 6 and 7. You could basically tell Caleb Williams, you're coming to Chicago and you should buy, not rent. And you tell Justin Fields, listen, we enjoyed our time together. Where do you want to go? Or we'd love to send you to the AFC or something along those lines. And then you figure that out. And then I've always looked at this timeline. The new league year begins March 13th. That is around the corner. That is when teams like, say, the Falcons are going to make a decision on, do we go the free agent route? They're grinding whatever their decision-making with their new head coach, Raheem Morris, right now about their quarterback situation. Are they going to go and try and run it back with Desmond Ridder? Or are they going to go ahead and figure out what to do with their draft? Do they go and move up for a quarterback? Do they stand pat and go take a quarterback? That's not till late April. You've got to make a decision on a free agent situation right now. And if you're the Chicago Bears, you're going to want to use that moment around the new league year to try and strike while the iron's hot. You're going to use that. Does Denver want Justin Fields? Sean Payton told us at the Super Bowl, Friday of the Super Bowl, they haven't even had their meetings on the quarterback situation yet. And if their quarterback's in the building, he says he would consider Russ still. You have to, is what he said. I did point out to him that, it seems like the train left the station because you benched him. And he basically said Russ wants to be here, which counts for something. We'll see. And then, as we know, Russ put his monster Mance up for sale. But what I'm saying is that if somebody wants to wait till the draft, that's their decision. I don't believe Justin Fields is going to go into draft week still being a Chicago Bear. I just don't think so. And so that decision is going to have to be made in the middle of March, by the middle of March. And it would make sense, however, for Chicago to, if they want, let the combine go through and let everybody see all the kids, and maybe they're not sold on as many of them, and they're like, okay, Justin Fields makes a lot of sense for us, and then they can get a little bit more for Justin Fields. What I'm saying to you is, though, if the Bears are up front, if Fields is asked or his representatives have asked, what are you going to do? And the answer isn't coming back, hey, he's our guy. Just sit tight. We're just going to extract as much as we can from Washington because Caleb's from there. They would love to have him. Cliff Kingsbury is sitting there. They're attached at the hip last year in USC. Hey, guess what, Justin? You're going to be the guy. We're going to get a whole king's ransom. We'll just not go for Caleb Williams. We'll get you Marvin Harrison Jr. How do you like Marvin Harrison Jr. to go along with DJ Moore? And then a whole host of draft choices that we might use to get your offensive line beefed up. We'll pick up your 5th-year option, and you continue to buy, not rent. Don't know if somebody who's potentially unfollowed Chicago on the Instagram account and somehow follows the 3 most important offensive weapons in Atlanta has been told such a thing. All speculation. All I'm saying is the chit-chatter starts now, behind the scenes. So when somebody's bored and starts popping into their Instagram search engine, names like Chicago and Bears and London and Drake and Kyle Pitts and Bijan, poof, you got something to talk about on February 20th. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.